Rashee Rice speaks out for the first time since its offseason from hell.
Accidents and stuff like that happen, but all you can do is kind of move forward and walk around being the same person and try to be positive so that everybody can feel your love and your great energy.
Plus, we have some Louis Rees-Zammit news and a BJ Thompson update, Steve. Let's talk about it.
We're all chiefed up, and we're back with another podcast for that ass. Make sure to hit that like button for us. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, 90% of you guys watching have not. Please hit that subscribe button and help us get to 30,000 subs as soon as possible. Mike, let's talk about Rashee Rice.
Let's talk about him, baby. Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice vows to mature after tumultuous offseason, says Jeremy Bergman. This is what he had to say. I've learned so much from this offseason troubles. Rice said this at the youth football camp in KC alongside of his fellow Chief wideouts. All I can do is mature and continue to grow from that. This is a step in a better direction for me. Accidents and stuff like that happen, but all you can do is move forward and walk around being the same person. Try to be positive so that everybody can feel your love and your great energy. Steve, accidents happen all the time going 119 racing down the freeway in Dallas.
Rashee Rice, if you're watching this, look at me right now. You just have to say, look, I effed up. It was a major, giant F up, okay? It wasn't an accident.
It was an accident.
You're an asshole.
Sue me.
That was not an accident. But either way, I like the sentiment. I like the fact that he's saying, hey, I'm moving on from what I did. I know it was wrong, and here's what I'm doing, X, Y, Z, and we can get back to normal. He's got to focus on football.
100%. I like the fact that he's getting out and he's feeding the homeless. I like that they're doing this little children's wide receiver camp thing. He's out there with Mecole Hardman, Xavier Worthy.
Stay busy, baby.
Marquise Brown. Yes, stay busy. I like that you're doing this kind of stuff, but look, it's not an accident when you leave the scene of an accident, by the way, without checking on people. It's not an accident being at a nightclub, may or may not punching people, but look, that got dropped. Who knows what happened and who didn't, but this is where I like you to be. Focusing on football, doing fun charity work stuff. Let's move on, Steve. We got a BJ Thompson update. Dov Kleiman reports Chiefs defensive end BJ Thompson is doing great and will return home on Monday, Steve. This is great news for BJ Thompson and the Chiefs.
Hell yeah, man. That's good news. It's just awesome to hear that. Been trying to keep an eye on the situation. Looks like he's recovering at a pretty good pace, and maybe he can get back to normal soon. And hopefully, as far as mental kind of stuff goes, with what happens after, a medical scare like that, maybe he can just get it behind him and get on with it.
Burke Holder, I'll say his name right in a second. He come out and give us a lot of good BJ Thompson news and updates. He said that happened in a special teams meeting. Once it happened, they, Butker ran out, got the trainers. They got in there really quick. They tried to put him in the floor while he was still seizing. And then he went into cardiac arrest, but they said he was only there for 30 seconds to a minute and a half, somewhere in that range. All the trainers come in, done it the best they could, got him back, and everything was good. And I hate the news. It sucks, but it's good to see that he's over it to the best of his ability right now, and he's moving on, Steve. I think he's going to recover. I think he's going to be fine, dude. And continued prayers for BJ, by the way. Let's move on to Louis Rees-Zammit, Steve. Louis Rees-Zammit is maybe the hottest thing going in KC and has been for months now. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely, man. He is definitely got everybody horned up. That's for sure.
100% for sure. Rugby Pass. Why? Why am I looking on Rugby Pass? No idea. But the NFL superstar's new warning to rugby convert. Louis Rees-Zammit, says Ian Cameron. Who are we talking about? It's going to be a humbling experience at first. Travis Kelce told reporters recently, it's not easy to make that jump. They're two completely different games, said the tight end, but he is an athlete, and that's what the Chiefs saw. He's a smart kid, a smart player, so he's going to be able to pick up the offense eventually, but it's going to be a tough few months for him while he's getting acclimated to the NFL. He goes on to say, we've been doing this since we were kids. We've been playing this game, so we just have those little instincts that we've built over the years that he has to start to catch up with. The biggest advice I gave him was just try not to let it overwhelm you as much as it can. Just know that everybody believes that you have the potential to be able to play. So just absorb as much as you can, learn as much as you can in the short time that you'll have before the season. And then it says that he does believe his athleticism and work ethic will give him the best possible shot at cracking the new code, Steve. We've said this about Louis Rees-Zammit since the very beginning. He is behind on the football on the football ride of life. He's way behind, and that is like his big potential thing that may keep him off this 53-man.
Absolutely, man. That's what we've been talking about, is this kid's just way, way behind. He's learning football. He's learning the rules of football. He's learning the playbook. Like Travis Kelce said, he's got all of the ability in the world. He's a ridiculous athlete. But he don't have any of those natural instincts that they've built over 20 years of playing the game and stuff like that. So none of it's going to come easy to him. He's cramming it all in a short amount of time, trying to make an NFL roster, which is football at its highest level, and he's just now starting the game. So the one thing I do like about him, and the thing that I think helps him in this situation, is the fact that he acknowledges it, and he knows he's starting with one hand tied behind his back, and he's willing to put in the work. So that's good to see.
Yeah, he looks pretty good, man. We've got some video clips of him out there running decent routes. He's tracking the ball well. He's carrying the ball in the backfield. I think he's going to get acclimated to it really quick. I want to see what happens when he starts taking his first few hits. And by the way, he's going to take them like a champ because he's a rugby guy, Steve. And by the way, the kid smacks homers. Apparently in the softball game, he's going deep, never even played the game before. So sounds like he can pick up. He's athletic. I'm glad to see Louis Rees-Zammit acclimating well in Kansas City.
Hear ye, hear ye. It's time for Beyond the Kingdom.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Hear ye, Beyond the Kingdom. Let's jump right in today. Ranking the 25 best moves of the 2024 NFL offseason from Bleacher Report, David Kenyon. Steve, where do you think Marquise Brown to the Chiefs ranks in the top 25 of offseason NFL moves?
It's got to be a top fiver, man. You just made the best team in the entire league better. It needs to be in the top 5.
You would think so, but it's number 14. Chiefs bringing Marquise Brown, all-pro tight end Travis Kelce clearly can carry a pass-catching core. Simultaneously, the Chiefs had underwhelming group of receivers, so they bring in Marquise Brown for a modest $7 million, Steve. That sounds a little low. So then I go on, and I'm like, well, what else did the Chiefs do this offseason? Where else are we ranking out here? Not the Chiefs, but the Titans go down the board here for L'Jarius Sneed, and they say that that's a good move for the Titans. So that was a better move for the Titans than picking up Marquise Brown was for us. And so we get into the top 2, and I'm like, what's happening? Number 2, the Steelers add Russell Wilson and Justin Fields as a top offseason move, and the Falcons signed Kirk Cousins as the number 1 move. Is everybody over at Bleacher Report okay, or do you guys have a long weekend?
I think they ordered a bag of edibles and they ate too many, man. Because those 2 right there should not be in the top 5, let alone the top 2. Kirk Cousins is a good signing for the Falcons to get them back on track with a really good young offense. It's nice to have a veteran guy that can take the helm and control the team and get them acclimated to it, and maybe give them time to get a good quarterback in there, which I don't think is Michael Penix, but we'll see. But they overpaid the crap out of an older guy that stays hurt all the time. And then, of course, Russell Wilson, I don't know about it.
Yeah, putting Russell Wilson anything at 2, and then Michael Penix Jr. gets drafted in the top 10 after you go out and make the best offseason move, according to Bleacher Report. That's ridiculous. Moving on. Tom Pelissero reports the Vikings' new Winter Warrior alternate uniform, Steve. We've talked about some alternate unis on here. We thought about the Chiefs having an all white out, iced out uni. What do you think about these Minnesota Vikings alternate uniforms? I think they're kind of sick, actually.
Hey, Mr. Hunt, this is what I'm talking about here. When I say I want Chiefs, icy white uniforms with a white helmet with that arrow, just take that stupid horn off there and put an arrowhead. And then you go back to the uniform and you replace the ugly purple with red. Man, that would be so slick. I think it's something the Chiefs could pull off. But I really do like this alternate uniform for the Vikings. It's as good as it gets for the Vikings, right?
Yeah, I like the uniform. I think it's pretty slick. I would like to see the Chiefs do something like this. We've seen the alternate white helmets with the red and black arrowhead, much like my logo on my cap I'm wearing. I've seen it kind of look like that. But I will say this, a lot of people don't want the red helmet to disappear. Would the red helmet look cool with an all-white uniform with, like, say, some red accents with a full red helmet?
it's not the same. And the fact that it's just an alternate uniform, it means it's going to get worn one time a year
Christmas.
at the most.
That would be fun,
I
right?
think people can deal with the helmet being white as long as that logo is still flat on the side of it, the big arrowhead, man.
That's what I got to say. Moving on, last story of the day, beyond the kingdom, by the way, and it's getting wild out here. And this is why we like to stay within the kingdom. The Raiders superstar Max Crosby says he saw a UFO on a flight back from a game with the Dolphins. He said, "We were literally on a flight back to Miami. We saw a UFO with our own eyes." Steve, what do you think about it?
I hate it. I think Max Crosby's a slapnut.
You don't think
And if
aliens
you see
are
this,
real?
Max Crosby, don't get mad at me because I know you can beat the living piss out of me. But good Lord, what's he talking about here? This, it kind of reminds me of the story we haven't even brought up, Darren Waller retiring from football after he put out that terrible music video. When he divorced his wife, he made a country music video, and it was just god-awful. Like, what's wrong with all these guys in the NFL right now? Like, something's off.
Something's wild, dude. I don't know what's in the water, but you know what's the most alien thing in Vegas is the Raiders actually winning the game. It's pretty alien. So that's going to wrap up Beyond the Kingdom.
That time's yours.
Time's yours, Chiefs Kingdom. Not time's yours, Steve. It's the
That's right.
Kingdom's time.
Listen.
Yeah,
It's about damn time you got it right.
it is. It is. Last Wednesday, we did a video. This is scary. Look at that. Trent McDuffie.
Them pictures are scary.
Look at Creed. He's scared to death, dude.
That's a mugshot,
Creed's scared to
bro.
death. Steve, they said that because Brett Veach don't like to re-sign centers and corners, those two may be gone. We released a video talking about it, and this is some of the responses we got to it. Let's go through them. No, says Taron Young. We are not getting rid of them. These two are in their prime. Top 3 at the position players. Snead was a good, not great for all but 1 year. That's why he's gone. Creed and McD were great from day one. Steve, do you agree with him?
Somewhat, yes. I think that like McDuffie, I feel like he is more valuable to the team because of what they have invested in him, which was trading up and getting him in the first round. So he might, break the mold of not signing corners. They could extend him.
Yeah.
Creed Humphrey is yet to be determined. They did draft Hunter Norzad, who could very well be a replacement for Creed. And Creed's going to need to be paid a lot of money. So I don't know. I wouldn't rule it completely out. I do think the Chiefs are interested in making sure they can keep all of those guys if possible. But sometimes you have to make the tough decisions.
Yeah, 1,000%, man. Enrique, our boy Enrique, says the warden has to stay. The warden has to stay and lock up that secondary. Let's freaking go, ACU.
Heck yeah,
He's
baby.
right. We got to stay and lock it up. We've got another one here. Brenda Pike. She says, great stuff, guys. Love time's yours and hear ye, hear ye. Hear ye. Should we just name it Hear Ye, Hear Ye? Beyond the Kingdom's gone. It might just be Hear Ye from now on. I think Veach will break the mold and re-sign Creed, Bolton, and McDuffie. She throws Bolton in the mix here. Says, I think Patrick, like Creed, likes Creed being there to protect him. McDuffie might be one to walk. Might be the one to walk because he sees himself worth more than the Chiefs could value him. I think Bolton really wants to stay in KC. Thanks. Until next time, Brenda, appreciate the question. Steve,
Brenda's a legend.
She is a legend. Do you think that if anybody walks, you think McDuffie is the guy that might be like, hey, you guys aren't going to pay me, I'm leaving?
It makes the most sense because that's why the Chiefs never re-sign corners because they can't afford them. And McDuffie is going to be, he already is a top 5 corner in football. He's going to be really up there by the time that contract rolls back around. I'm thinking they might need to try to extend him early before his contract comes due.
Yeah.
See if they can keep him around a little bit longer and then maybe let him walk later. I'm not for sure, but I'm not completely disagreeing with her because I don't think it's as much as McDuffie values himself like that. Like, hey, I'm way better than this. It's more of just what the market's calling for. And I think if it's a big gap between what the Chiefs can pay and what the value is on the market, he might have to walk just to get his money,
Yep. Last one from the McDuffie Creed video. This one comes from our girl Julia Gulia, and Steve, and I think you would like. I think you should read this one.
Dramatic music starts. Of course, I hit the like button, and I'm subscribed too. It's all chiefed up, baby. # get horned.
Get horned, of course, and you should hit the like button too if you're still watching right now. You're a real one. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Moving on, we got another poll. I love the polls. I get horned up on the polls. The poll is upright right now. Opinion time. McCole Hardman agrees to a 1-year deal with the Chiefs. We've talked about this. Will he make the team is what was asked. And the reason we ask, Steve, is because we think they're only going to take 6. Even if they go and take 7, we've got about 15 wide receivers on the roster right now. Hell yeah, hell no, maybe, or just why in the world did we sign McCole Hardman? Steve, who do you think gets this one out of 4.7 thousand votes?
It's going to be hell yeah, but here's my thing. I'm somewhere between the hell yeah and maybe, as the fact that he could make the team. Just because he has a leg up on all the young guys. He's been around for 5 years now. He knows the playbook. He's comfortable with the team and teammates and locker room, all the above. So, I mean, he's in a really good position to make the squad. But I think the reason why they signed him is because they want healthy, stiff competition in camp for people like McCole Hardman and Kadarius Toney. Mike, I know you want to make a comment.
You said stiff. You said
I knew you
stiff.
couldn't help yourself.
You said stiff, not me.
But I think that's why they went and signed him, was just for the competition, to try to get some of those players that are down here with the ceiling that's through the roof to see if they can get, you have to make this team. We're not giving you a spot. So I think it's somewhere in that range.
That's what I think too. Richie says the question is he better than what we have? He's not the 1, 2, 3, or 4, so maybe he makes 5th or 6th wideout. Maybe.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly.
He's not 1, 2, 3, or 4, right?
Hey.
I think you have to give that to Xavier Worthy, Marquise Brown, Rashee Rice.
Richie knows ball.
Who did I miss?
Richie knows ball.
I missed somebody.
It doesn't
very
matter
important right there. But yeah, you're right.
I think that's where he's at, man. He's going to compete for the 5th or 6th spot on the team. And I would say that if Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney can step up and Justin Watson does what he normally does, McCole Hardman might be on the outside looking in. We'll just have to wait and see.
Very possible. Lewis is back. And Steve, I before we read it, is Lewis going to be positive today or negative?
Negative, if I had to put my money on it.
He's worthless. And he makes one good catch, and that's it. No one wanted him. That's why he was still a free agent. Well, he doesn't really tell any lies. Lewis is really not lying there, Steve. People are very horned up about that one wide open 2-yard granny flip. That grandma death that died 7 years she could have been dug up out of the ground and caught that bad boy. That's how wide open and blown coverage that was.
Anybody could have caught that ball. So it's not like a huge deal there. That's the thing about it. Like, very opportune and very great for McCole Hardman that he got to be the guy to catch the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And you put yourself in the position, so you got to give him props for that. But, I mean, when really that's all you've had to offer. I mean, did you see the stat line from the Buffalo game in the playoffs?
Pretty bad.
Did you see him fumble the ball on the 1-yard line into the end zone and us almost lose our lead against the Baltimore Ravens?
I've been reading about that, and people saying that Kelce admitted to missing a block.
Oh, good
and it's
Lord.
Kelce's fault.
Sure it is.
Kelce's missed block caused him to fumble the ball.
Kelce's a good teammate that tries to cover for everybody else. Right. That's what he is.
I will say this. McCole Hardman caught that nice deep pass from Patrick in the Super Bowl. So that was his best play. That was
for sure.
Like when people talk about the Super Bowl catch, I don't care if he caught
that. That's what we
like,
want from Hardman.
He needs to catch the deep ball. Like he should have caught the Super Bowl thing. That was easy. Julia's back and she says Boodle's going to be next to be re-signed, Steve. You will have a flat-out aneurysm if that happens.
He ain't coming back.
Adam's family KC says that's a rare Veach L right there. Just a rare
signing
Veach
back
L
McCole Hardman
on the McCole Hardman. And then we got this one. What you mean make the team, says King Myers Gaming. He already on the team. If he signed a 1-year deal, unless they trade him. What are you talking about? Everybody on this team's under contract, but we can't take 157 people into the season. So McCole Hardman's got to be one of the best 6 to 7. And I don't know if he's that or not. Steve, do people know how the rules
trade
work?
the league snitch. You can't do it. Nobody
can't
wants
trade
him.
the league snitch. Moving on. Over that one. Let's move on to a new poll. Which edge rusher from the 2022 NFL draft gets the most sacks in 2024? Karlaftis, Thibodeau, Trevon Walker, Jermaine Johnson. Steve, you say George Karlaftis. What's the kingdom going to say?
Yeah, George Karlaftis.
George
You're
Karlaftis.
asking a bunch of Chiefs fans, baby. What do you think?
You are. let's see what the commenters say. Jermaine Johnson's going to win Defensive Player of the Year this season. Book it, says Kenneth. That's quite a take from Kenneth.
Kenneth, come on, bro. All right.
Next. Weird, says that one guy, how you left Hutch off this list. Steve, why would I leave Hutch off that list?
Because he's the obvious number one.
Right. He's the obvious number
So
one.
why would you
He's got
put it on
21
there?
sacks. Of course we're all taking him, moron. Of course we're going to take Aiden Hutchinson over everybody there. He has 21 sacks. But you know what? George Karlaftis ain't that far off, baby. He's got 16 and a half. He's got 16 and a half, Steve. And I bet you that little fool didn't know that, did he?
I just don't know why he would want us to put a poll up that says what color is the sky and
Right.
have blue as the number one answer.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, come on, bro.
You're not giving him no respect. No, we give him respect. That's why he's not on the poll. These people out here, man, I tell you. Here we go. We got another one. This one was fun. Threw this one up the other day, and boy, this one sparked some feelings, Steve. Which of these QB bust would have likely had a good career if they were drafted by Andy Reid and the Chiefs before the Chiefs drafted Mahomes in 2017? So the premise was, if the Chiefs wouldn't have taken Mahomes because they would have taken one of these guys earlier, would any of these guys had a better career? Johnny
Yes,
Manziel,
all
Blake
four
Bortles,
of them.
Jameis. That's mine. And this is what the people said. 43% Jameis. I thought it was kind of odd. Well, actually, Manziel actually fell down to third because Manziel was leading there for a while. Mariota jumped him, but pretty close there. Then, of course, Blake Bortles. Wasn't Blake Bortles on the team as a backup quarterback? So the only guys that actually played with the Chiefs. 6%.
We never had Blake Bortles.
I could have swore we talked about signing Blake
What the hell
Bortles
are you
one
talking
year, right?
about? There ain't no way. There's no way that's real life. You're making that up. That never happened. Here's the thing, man. With all these guys, before we get into the comments, every one of them would have had a better career with Andy Reid as their head coach.
Yeah.
And for you to get your feelings hurt and say that means Mahomes isn't as good as he actually is because you're saying that one of these guys could have been better with Andy Reid, that makes no damn sense. None. Zero. Patrick Mahomes gets all the credit he deserves. Andy Reid gets credit for being able to, he's a quarterback whisperer, baby. Let's go back before Mahomes. We're talking Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick. Keep it going. Alex Smith. I mean, all these guys would have had a better career with Andy Reid.
That's the point. Wouldn't be Manziel. Dude didn't want to work, just wanted to party every day. That's a good, okay.
I can agree with that somewhat.
That's an agree. Nightingale Alt says Jameis just needed LASIK. That was funny.
That's a possibility.
That was funny. We've got Peyton Mole says Bortles, out of all of them, showed the most ability at QB. So you had a Bortles. Adams Family KC says Mariota for sure. Good arm, intelligent, just needed a good system. I kind of agree with that one. Tommy Dog says every single one of them, Reed is an effing genius. Steve, I think that guy's on you. Is that that guy's been watching the show.
I can agree with all of those. I can agree with all of those.
Me too. That's why I picked those out. I thought they were all made sense. But there was a lot of people saying none of them, Steve. None of them has a better career.
That makes no sense. That's basically you being like Andy Reid's trash. That's pretty much what you're saying. If you think none of them could have had a better career.
Well, they said that
Andy
those
Reid.
guys are just trash and Andy Reid can't polish a turd. That's what the comments
we
were
all
saying.
know that's a lie because we've seen it happen before. I
That's
won't
true.
mention names, but
That's true. Moving on. Last one. Which AFC team finishes 2024 with the best record and the first round bye to start the playoffs? Chiefs, Ravens, Dolphins, Texans.
the Chiefs.
And we know the Chiefs are taking it 76% out of 4.2 thousand votes. Alfredo says Chiefs all day, baby. And then we got Joe Beast YouTube. As a Texans fan, I'm just happy getting recognized by more people because the Texans 3 years ago is not the same as it is now. You know what?
I can feel that. I feel that sentiment.
You're right. He's right. But you know, there's
We've
one
been
fan
there.
base. There's one fan base, Steve, that didn't get included, and you knew they were going to chime in.
Who we got?
You know exactly who it is. Here we go. As a Bengals fan, I'm here to say everyone forgot about us already. Nobody forgot about the Bengals. You just suck. We just didn't want to put you on the poll because you ain't going to be any good. Nobody forgot about you. Get over yourselves. Steve, nobody forgot about the Bengals, dude. He said, MF Super Bowl appearance, be on notice is all I'm saying. I've never seen a fan base
They
more
got
full
a
of
Super Bowl
themselves.
appearance because we had an epic meltdown of ridiculous sorts. I don't even know what the hell happened in that game. It still blows my mind. But I've never seen the Chiefs play worse than that half of football.
Yeah.
Especially Patrick Mahomes. I mean, if you had to ask the average football fan, did it look like Patrick Mahomes threw that entire game? They would say, yeah, that's a possibility because he looked that damn bad, and that's not normal for Mahomes. But then they went and proved why they shouldn't have been there to begin with and lost.
This is like the equivalent of like in high school, Patrick and Brittany, they're winning homecoming king and queen every single season, every year, every dance, everything. And then they see little Timmy over in the corner getting picked on. And they say, you know what, we're going to let Timmy win one this year. And so Timmy gets to win. And then Timmy gets on the mic and he says, all y'all suck, and you got to respect Timmy right now. I'm better than all of you. That's what it's like. They win one little thing. And they act like they're the best at everything.
Was Timmy's wrist broken? That's the thing about it. We got to talk about Joe Burrow here. When he can play a full season without being injured, then maybe we can talk. But his receivers are all trying to leave and get money too. So your best days might be behind you.
100% they are. And our best days are behind us. And that's why this episode's now over. Thanks for liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. We'll catch you next time. Go Chiefs.